cloud. Yeah. So it's important that you have all these clouds have their own products and services. So you need to understand. So again, AWS has probably the best method for teaching, and that is what gives us better than the other when it comes to delivering lessons. Right? And of course, AI is going to take over all of these, and the security is in the middle of this. So if you look at the security, the threat landscape is attacked as a regulation, and the potential to fail for security attack continues to become more attractive. The nature of attacks continues to become more sophisticated, some more interesting through self-propagation, network-based ransomware, encrypted malware attacks hidden within encrypted traffic, which make up a incredible 70% of all malicious attacks in 2017. IoT botnets deployed on unpatched, unmonitored IoT devices. So this is costing the world in trillions, right? And then of course AI is playing a big role. Simply put, AI is a field of study that gives computers human-like intelligence when performing a task. Two of the most categories of AI, machine learning and machine reasoning. Machine learning can be described as the ability to statistically learn from data without explicitly programming. Machine reasoning uses acquired knowledge to navigate through a series of possible options towards an optimal outcome. So naturally, with all this data that's coming to us, for us to actually understand the data and make information, we have to use AI. And this is why we're putting AI into all our smart devices, right? AI gives us that ability to take all this data and then have different options and then to make a decision on that option, which is what a human intelligence system does, yeah? Because what we do is we collect a lot of data, right, that comes into us, and then we then use that data to decide what we want to do in life, yeah, or what we want to do. So this is why AI is going to play a big role, and is already playing a big role, yeah. And machine learning itself, machine learning where you are teaching a machine certain tasks, and then once it learns those tasks, it just does those tasks instead of you having to waste a human's time to do those tasks, you know. So these are very critical things that are happening. So if you look at today's organization, you'll see that they're spreading their packages from different sources: AWS, software as a service, co-location, Microsoft Data Center, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud. You know what I'm saying? They have their own branches, the campus. They have their own microservices, their own data center, and then they're trying to maintain security across such a wide range of areas. See, and that is again becoming a challenge for them.
So the question that I'm being asked a lot in the chat is, I mean, some people are doing CompTIA, some people are doing degrees or masters.
They're doing CompTIA in Pakistan?
CompTIA in Pakistan. They're doing CompTIA in Lahore, in Karachi, another one. But anyway, they're doing all these courses not realizing what is going to be the best path, because again, one of the problems I guess is traditional. They're being told from the old school way of doing things that this is going to be the right way. What is the best?
I don't think CompTIA is a good way to go forward for Pakistani youth. You know, again, as I said to you, that if I'm going to learn Oracle, I should learn it from Oracle. If I'm going to learn Java, I should learn from some microsystem. Yeah, I should go straight to the person who created the product. You know what I'm saying? If I want to learn Cisco, I learn from Cisco. If I want to learn AWS, I learn from AWS. If I want to learn Huawei, I learn from Huawei. Yeah, if I want to learn AliCloud, I learn from AliCloud. So to me, the best, if you want to learn quickly and get into the industry, then you need to learn it directly from the actual vendor, right? And that's the best way of learning things, not going through some third-party academic program. You know, it will slow you down. And I told you, time is something you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't rent. Time is of essence, right? You know, look at what happened in 6 months. Corona came, look at how much it changed the whole world.
Big time.
Yeah, so that's all. But Corona only came in January. It's only that 10 months, yeah? But the whole world, the economy, everything has changed. The whole way people were thinking how to do the plans, the airline industry, the hospitality industry, everything has been affected. You know, so all these companies have to change their way of operations.
One of the questions also is from Mohammed. He's asking, is Amazon going to be setting up in Pakistan? Because they recently heard that Amazon was hiring senior execs, and I think Amazon are having.
Amazon is opening an office in Pakistan. We are Amazon partners. We already opened in Pakistan, but Amazon is going to open an office in Pakistan, not a data center, right? But yes, in the future, Amazon will probably open a data center in Pakistan, but it's not going to happen overnight. Again, you should not be worrying about who's opening in Pakistan. Your market is the rest of the world, right?
Very much so.
Think of the world as your market. मैं जब पाकिस्तान में था, I did not think मैं पाकिस्तान में सिर्फ काम करूँगा. I looked at the world and I said, okay, how do I go and learn and make myself valuable, right? So I always looked at the world as my country, not just I have to work just within Pakistan. No, the world today, especially you guys, are much more lucky than I am because you have access to remote working, right? And that is the beauty about today's world, that you can be sitting in Alaska and still work, yeah, or you can be sitting in Timbuktu and still work, yeah. That's the advantage you guys have. You don't have to go to another country, learn the whole culture, and then spend 5 years just doing that.
Okay. Another very good question. Udemy lectures, videos online, are they good?
Look, you see, again, with every lecture is unique. Every person who delivers lectures is different, right? So my view on the internet, YouTube, Udemy, and all this, yes, you'll find some good lecturers there. The only problem with watching videos is when you go into the industry, companies require you to have practical experience. And when you watch somebody's YouTube video, unless you are very, very focused and very committed, you will actually go and create those projects for them. But a lot of people don't. They just watch the video and they worry, oh man, this exam pass karunga, I know my stuff. Exam has not that much value as much as the experience. So this is the problem with watching videos, that if you don't convert those videos to experience, then you are missing a very important piece in your progression, right? And so that's what my view on videos are. That yes, there are some good trainers out there in the world, but you need to think that that's something you can do. It's quite time consuming. It's cheap in the short run, but if you're going to spend, I met a guy yesterday who spent 10 months learning AWS Architect. Now हम लोग AWS Architect 4 हफ्ते में पढ़ाएंगे, right? So why do you spend 10 months? I mean, 10 महीने में और चीज़ में पढ़ सकते हैं. So that's why I would say, you have to be careful.
The other thing, videos can't talk back. You have a problem. This is why they did it wait 10 months.
Yeah. So you can see here with the next slide, it says 60% of business leaders believe IT is leading the organization's business transformation strategy. Yet 93% are going to say the skills gap is preventing them from transforming fast enough. So what is this saying basically? Business leaders have realized, and remember this was done before COVID, yeah, the survey. So business leaders realize that IT is where the business is going to be led by IT now. But at the same time, 93% of them, of the business people are saying that we don't think we have the skills gap in preventing them from transferring fast enough. And we've already seen this, I mean, I said, when I put an ad in Pakistan for AWS person, with experience, I'm not looking for somebody who's worked in a company. I'm just asking people, do you have basic experience with AWS? And I can't even get that in Pakistan. Yeah, it's so hard to get somebody like that, yeah? So that is, and Pakistan is supposed to have, I don't know how many millions of youth. So we should have this experience already there, and this is where we're struggling.
I think you're right, because one of the questions that we just asked is, how will this webinar benefit me? Because they're still not sure how the future is, and whether or not they can get the right skills that's required.
Yeah, that's why in this webinar, that's my job. My job to tell them how to get you that.
The path.
The path.
Walk the path.
Right. So Cisco did a survey, and data from IT Challenge Survey reveals that across IT in general, advanced technologies such as cloud expertise, enterprise architecture, big data analytics, DevOps, and cybersecurity top the list of technical skills and expertise in need. Incidentally, the need for expertise in the first four skills gap topics, cloud enterprise architecture, and data analytics and DevOps, offer strong evidence of IT's changing role. So basically what this is saying to you is that 5 साल पहले अगर तुम नौकरी ढूंढ रहे थे तो ये jobs नहीं थी. You will not see jobs in DevOps, DevOps, big data, enterprise architecture, cloud expertise. There's not such a big demand. Now when you go and look at the world job market, you'll see that this is what companies are asking for. So this tells you that how much the business has changed in the last 5 years. Where now we can see that these skill sets are becoming so important, and companies are realizing that if they don't have the people with the skill sets, they cannot move into digital transformation. So this is why the demand is so high here. And you can see here the cloud expertise, enterprise architecture, big data, DevOps, cybersecurity, IoT, application development, cloud native application development, automation, programming, scripting, user interface and experience design, AR, VR, artificial intelligence, ML are becoming the top skill sets that companies want. So, and if you look at this next slide, it shows you the average salaries that are in this is an American one I just showed you, where cloud application architect junior is $143,000, right? I mean, $143,000 is around you look at 2.5 crore, 2.5 crore rupees, right? I mean that's a pretty decent salary, yeah. I mean, and you see the salaries, are achievable. I mean, with some experience, you're not going to get the salary straight away. But what I'm saying to you is that what you need to do is first learn the stuff, get the experience while you're in Pakistan. It takes you 1 year or 2 years to get that experience, and then start promoting yourself into the West, because in the West is where the market is. West has got a skill shortage. West has got a big problem with people not getting the right key skills, because actually we don't have that much youth. So this is why you need to replace that gap, the problem. So you need to fix that gap problem, skills gap problem. This is where you guys play a big role, right? And this is why you guys need to understand the importance of what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to move back to my slides. I'm just going to change my slides over. Any more questions I should answer?
Okay, so a lot of people are now saying they don't have the opportunity in Pakistan to go into the cloud because they don't know which way to go. And the whole point of these webinars is now to show you guys that there is a way. This is what hopefully you've explained to everyone.
So I told you, we are based in UK, that's our global HQ, but we have offices in Bangladesh, Nepal, Australia and Pakistan. We've opened our office in Lahore right now, but we will go in Karachi and Islamabad. But again, we are available virtually also across the whole world, right? So we have a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to go too much into that. We are partnered with AWS, DigitalOcean, Ali Cloud, Zoom, Azure, and Google Cloud. So we have partnership with all of those companies. We have around 300 customers across the world. So so we have that experience to be able to give you some experience in that. Okay, so coming back to AWS Cloud, as you can see here, that for the last for the last 15-20 years, people had physical data centers, and I told you the biggest problem with having physical data center is that first of all, it costs a lot of money. As I said to you, $2 million to $100 million to build a physical data center. You have to buy resources. You have to upgrade them. This is not cheap. Each server costs in UK a server costs £30,000. So £30,000 is you're looking at £30,000 will be the price of a Honda Accord. So I don't know how much a Honda Accord is, but it will be a few million rupees in Pakistan, right, for one server. And think of it that average company has 1,000 servers, and think of it that also that the server life is only 2 to to 3 years. You know, like your mobile phone. I mean, how often do you change your mobile phone? Every 2-3 years you change your mobile phone. Why? Not because the mobile phone stops working, because it's upgraded with higher performance. That's why you change your mobile phone. So same thing with servers. As they become high performance, companies have to change and upgrade them. So this is how we used to work, right? But now this is the way we are working now. 70% of our companies are going to move to the cloud. And the advantage of the cloud is that you don't have to go and build the data center. You start off, let's say you have an app, अभी तुमने app बनाया, right? And you want to test that app out in the data center. So you just, I mean, you don't have enough customers. So you just rent, just $1 महीने का तुमने एक computer rent कर लिया and you're testing your app on that. Now as you get more customers, then you can rent more servers and you can take the resources up. You know what I'm saying? Till you know, so, and if your customers start going down, then you just switch off the servers and stop paying rent. But if you had the physical data center, you're stuck with it. You know, if you've decided that I'm going to handle 1 million customers, and you build a data center to handle 1 million customers, right? Tomorrow you have 100,000 customers, you're still stuck with that whole equipment which you have to maintain and upgrade. Yeah. So if you take a company like Airbnb, which is the biggest, has more hotel rooms than Marriott and Hilton together, right? So think of it, they launched in 2008, they have 18 million customers, they have 2 million homes, yeah, across 190 countries, and they're using over 1,300 AWS instances, servers, compute instances, yeah? So a company like that, when they launched in 2008, they couldn't build a data center. They didn't have money to build a data center. So they rented from AWS, right? So by January 2013, they had 4 million customers. And within a year, their total number of guests went up to 10 million in a year, yeah? And now it's 80 million, right? So a company like this, if they do not use AWS, how would they scale that up, right? And think of it, Zoom is a classic one. Zoom in December only had 20-30 million customers. Now Zoom has over 300-400 million customers now, right? How did Zoom build so much data center capacity? They didn't have to. They're renting from AWS. You see, so Zoom is on AWS itself. That's why it's able to scale up and down. You see. So how does AWS manage to keep the cost so low? Well, it works on economies of scale. So what AWS does is because they buy thousands and thousands of servers, and they're able to get a very big discount on their price. What they do is they pass that discount to their customers, and because they become people, they get more customers, and as they get more customers, they build more infrastructure. So this cycle keeps them getting cheaper and cheaper because they're creating a whole big marketplace of services. Yeah. Okay.
One of the questions is about security. How can AWS guarantee security of the data that they have?
Okay, so again, that's a very good question, because why is AWS not building a data center in Pakistan, right? The reason not building data center in Pakistan, because it's the biggest problem AWS has, that if they build a data center in Pakistan, then they have to be 100% secure, right? To be 100% secure, they have to check everything. I mean, you will have to check whether your security guard at the data center can be right, you know. So this is why, like in UK, जब तुम काम करते हो किसी secure data center में, they even go and check तुम्हारे पास कितना कर्जा कितना है. इससे कि तुम्हारे पास बहुत ज़्यादा कर्जा है, that means that तुमको रिश्वत, you will be tempted by रिश्वत, right? So you know that's a level of security you're going to look at, yeah. So they have to employ people and maintain every aspect. So naturally, you got to remember, AWS are also, I mean, CIA. CIA is probably one of the biggest security agencies in the world, and CIA is now using AWS. They don't have their own physical data center. So if CIA is using AWS, you can imagine how secure AWS is, right? And of course, that's we're talking about infrastructure security, right? But the data security is the responsibility of you, the customer, who who's listening.
Yeah, I mean,
shared responsibility.
Yeah, one of the questions is if customers, I mean, if you've got government agencies and so on using cloud, like you just mentioned, at the minute Pakistan government will have to look at cloud later on, but other governments like in Europe, US, you're all using cloud.
Yeah, I mean, in UK, all our government, from our Ministry of Prime Minister's Ministry, our security services, our police, all of them are using AWS.
Yeah.
They would not be using AWS if they're not secure, right? But nobody can build, because AWS takes security so seriously, nobody can actually build a data center as secure as AWS, right? Unless they are, I don't know, maybe the NATO or somewhere. You know, not even CIA. The
company in NATO and CIA, they're all using it. It depends where that data center, where that environment is, to be sure.
What was the next question?
No, that was the only question. If you carry on. I've got other questions, but it'll be related to the slide as you go.
No, I'm seeing a lot.
I'm answering those.
There's like 60 or...
Yeah, you answered most of them when I summarized it.
Okay, summarize it on you. Okay. So again, I said to you, the importance of having this data center, you can deploy your application across the world. So just कोई application बना रहे हो, अभी तो application बैठे हो पाकिस्तान में, तो application बनाई है, लेकिन जो app तुमने बनाई है, how are you going to deploy it to the Americans, right? You have to host it somewhere. So again, AWS gives you that facility to host your app across the world, and so they can deliver the content to your customers. And if you look at this, and this is what we're discussing, that constant लोग इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं AWS को. All of these companies, including your good friend Amazon, your Amazon something like your Amazon e-commerce website, they're also using AWS. I mean, AWS. How did AWS come in the first place? शुरू करी थी हमने Amazon e-commerce website को host करने के लिए, right? That's how they started, isn't it? But now Amazon is their customer. Right? So, but all of these companies, SAP, Hitachi, Netflix, Nokia, all of these people are using AWS as their main data center. The other one is startup. So, if you're a startup is somebody who has generated a product, but they need to start putting that product on अभी जो पाकिस्तान में क्या है जो startups है उन्हें 4-5 कंप्यूटर अपने दफ्तर में या घर में लगाए हुए हैं, उस पर उन्हें एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हैं, लेकिन जब उनको लॉन्च करना पड़ता है दुनिया में, they need a data center to launch it. वो कैसे, how are they going to afford to build a data center? So they're using AWS. Our AWS क्या फायदा है that we as AWS partners are able to even get them credit up to 10 lakh रुपए to actually fund them to start up their data center migration, to start up their application on the data center. So again, there's no other company that's giving that sort of funding and credit to get people started off. Then if you look at public sector customers, you have NASA, CIA, you have the American government, you have the UK government, you have European governments using AWS. So AWS has infiltrated every area or aspect of our business and government commercial.
Talk about infiltration. What about the data that Amazon stores in the cloud? Are government agencies allowed to touch that data?
No, because in the end, you can't. Data is what we call compliance, data compliance. So we have rules which have been established by our countries. So there's something called GDPR. There's something called for medical data. There's something called HIPAA. There's for credit card. There's something called PCI DSS. So we have all this compliance, and AWS follows all those compliances very strictly, right? So the data cannot be given to a government agency, and it's not possible for that without some legal aspect to it, So yeah, if data started being given by Amazon to government agencies, that would be the end of AWS. The AWS will not survive. No organization can survive if they start giving data to all the government agencies. Yeah. they will not survive the business.
No, Zahid was asking a question about natural disasters. So, in terms of, I think you showed the map.
That's a very good question, because if you look at this, like for example, Japan, right, and you have a lot of earthquakes. So this is region. Then if you look at availability zones, right? So availability zones are basically. So if I go back to Japan, my map is going all over the place. Yeah. Where's my map going? Okay, so you see here, you see that the blue ones are availability zones. So within the regions of Osaka and all the Tokyo, they have multiple data centers there. So if any one of if any of them go down, those data centers, there's backup data centers there. So this is why you have all these availability zones. So you have a region, which is where the region is, but within that region there are many different data centers within that availability zone. So that's why. So again, think of that, yeah? How will any company build all the regions and availability zones? Can't, it's too expensive, right? I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. And another question that they've also asked, in terms of Google uses GFS, its own file system, in terms of that, like Hadoop and so what does AWS use? AWS uses something called EFS, Elastic File System. So that is Amazon's way of doing their own file system. Again, how does that file system work? What's the benefits of that? That's something we'll cover later when we look in terms of when you do more in depth in terms of going through the pros and cons between each of the different vendors.
Yeah. Okay. So naturally, AWS provides 190 odd services, but the main services are the ones that you see on the screen here, which are EC2, RDS, S3, Elastic Load Balancing, Route 53, Direct Connect, EBS, VPC, Elastic IB, and EBS. So these are the main services. And these services are which pretty much every organization, when they are creating their AWS, they will use the services, which are compute and so on, yeah? But I said to you, there's 190 different services. These are only about 8-9 services I'm showing you here, yeah? And this is where AWS becomes very different from the other cloud providers, because they are producing around 10 new features every week. Currently, I think they have over 10,000 features, right? So no company in cloud is that innovative right now. So if you look at this case study, you have General Electric here, who have 300,000 employees, right? And they had 32 data centers, right? 32 data centers, and sorry, let me just get my pointer out here. So we've got 32 data centers, 90,000 servers, right? It's covering 170 countries, 10,000 IT employees. Their annual IT spend was $3 billion, right? You know, that's the annual IT spend, yeah? And what has General Electric done? They got rid of 28 data centers. Now they only have 4 data centers. So 4 data centers out of 32, right? And they migrated everything to AWS, right? So even a company like General Electric realized that, hang on, we cannot, even with the manpower we have and the technology we have, we cannot keep up with AWS. So even there, companies are trying to give up. You know what I mean? So when you look at, when you study AWS, you have to understand the AWS compute, the database, and the load balancing, the virtual private cloud, how it works, the storage, how does the storage work, how does the compliance work, and how does the security aspect of it work, how does it interconnect. So these are all important aspects of why are we getting calls here? Come through. You need too many calls. This is someone in UK, not Pakistan ringing us, yeah?
What can I say?
Okay, right. And then if you look at who is hiring, right? Pharmaceutical companies, security consultancy, government, NHS, which is our health system, our health, hospitals use cloud a lot, right? Retail businesses, law firms, critical national infrastructure, which is like our electricity, already like Karachi Electric. I know Karachi Electric has problems, but they are using cloud also. They're using AWS. You know what I'm saying? Oil and gas, engineering, machine learning companies, AI companies, augmented reality companies, the big four, the IoT industry, telcos like Telenor, Zong or whatever they're called, charities, they're all hiring. So basically everybody's hiring. Anyone who holds data has to hire cloud professionals, yeah? So your market becomes very big, you see, because naturally you're looking at who's gonna need my skills. So your skills, so many companies that need your skills. So this is why it's so important to get the right skills. Now while we're here, let me put another quiz. I'm going to put another my quizzes. So this quiz is asking you how much data does a human produce in their lifetime, assuming they live 80 years? So how much data does a human produce in their lifetime? Assuming they live 80 years. 10 gigabyte, 10 terabyte, 2.5 petabyte. By the way, 2.5 petabyte is 2,000, those are also terabyte. Yeah? So just in case you don't know what petabyte is. Right? So let's see how many of you...
So while everyone's answered that question, the question is that what certifications and training are going to be required to start AWS? A lot of people think, do I go to big data? Do I specialize in DevOps? Where do I go?
I'm going to come to that one. I want to see what the result is of my human...
Your human trials, yes?
My human data, how much data is human properties. So, okay, I think everybody's answered that needed to answer. I'm going to publish the results. So as you can see that 71% of you think it's 2.5 terabytes, 2.5 petabytes, sorry, which is 2,500 terabytes of data. 25% of you said 10 terabyte, and there's one person who said 10 gigabyte. So the answer is correct. It's 2.5 petabyte of data. This data is, so we are like a AWS data center ourselves, because we have all this data in our body, and this data has to be processed. So our processor is very powerful, that can process 2,500 terabytes of data. So where is the 2,500 terabytes of data? Where is it stored? It's stored all over our body. Like when you go for a blood test, खून का टेस्ट कर जब जाते हो, वो खून निकालते हैं तुम्हारी बॉडी से, उस खून से फिर डेटा निकालते हैं, isn't it? Right? तुम पैदा कैसे हुए? तुम्हारे DNA में तुम्हारा डेटा जो है, तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स से आया था, तुम्हारी माँ अब्बा से आया था डेटा, isn't it? In your DNA, right? तुम्हारे थूक में कितना डेटा है, तुम्हारे सलाइवा में कितना डेटा है, right? So I mean हर चीज तुम्हारी बॉडी में, everything, तुम्हारी skin, तुम्हारा DNA, every single thing is data. Even your fingerprints are data. Everything is data. Your eyes are taking in data. Right now you're listening to me through sound, and it's bringing all that data in. So all of this has to be processed by your computer. So you just see how powerful you are as a human, right? And अभी तक कोई भी computer system नहीं बना है जो इतना powerful जैसे human computer system है, right? So this shows you the strength you have, the what you can do if you use this data and processing and get the right skills, what you can do with your life. You know what I'm saying? You could change the world, yeah? So this is the power you have. So you have to understand that you cannot say, oh, because of beginning here, this is not the beginning. No, you are a walking data center yourself, yeah. So try to utilize that properly, yeah. Because you're processing 2,500 terabytes of data, yeah. See. So now the next question I have is, what is the importance of AWS certification? Yeah. So actually, because certification, see, if you had a lot of experience, then yeah, I would say you don't need certification. Not that it will not be critical. But if you don't have experience, then certification does help. See. So if you look at the certification today that AWS provides, now AWS has many different levels of certification. It goes from sorry, let me just bring up my. So we have the cloud practitioner, right, which is like the beginning level. Somebody who doesn't know anything about IT, this is where they will start. You could go. This is what we recommend. The architect, solution architect, which shows you how the architecture of the cloud of AWS is. Because when you go into the industry, this is what you're going to be. You're expected to know this. Or you can go to DevOps, become an associate developer, or you can go into system operation, right? Then the other aspect is once you've done that, then of course the advanced networking specialist to AWS is very important because all these companies that are deploying AWS, a lot of them have physical data centers, so they need to know how to network them together with the cloud, right? You can go into big data speciality if you want to go down that line, but West Bay is equally important as security key. So security is very important. So if you're going to put all this data in the cloud, then you need to make sure that it is secure with the right level of protection. Otherwise, big problem for the companies that are using this thing. Now I'm just going to show you this two CVs here. So this is just like a sample CV I'm showing you. So अगर ये दो CVs अगर आए to the recruitment agent, if you have just two CVs, so you have CV A and CV B, right? Which of these CVs do you think that the recruitment agent is going to put towards the employer? Is it going to be CV A or CV B? Which of these two CVs do you think will be the one he's going to put forward? So what's the answer? Guys, just put A or B. What's the answer, yes sir?
Just checking. It is B.
B. You said B?
Hang on, my slides have gone, so I'm just coming back up.
Where were your slides? I'm going to the chat.
My access is finished. One second, I need to log back on.
Are you sure you don't want to listen?
Give me a lesson later on.
Yeah. Okay, let me go and look at the chat myself. We do hard work here.
Someone's got to keep you up.
So yes, so B is the answer. Why? Because of the certification. Because even though this guy has gone to Udemy and done all the skills, right? But this guy is actually not only picks up the skills, but he's also done the exam. So he makes it more marketable for him. Now let's look at the next slide. So the next slide is basically B and C. Now both of them have done the exam. Right? So they're both certified. So which one do you think is going to be better, B or C? CBC now. So which one is going to be more marketable? See, you're going to think of yourself as a product. So you're going to be marketing yourself, yeah?
Everyone's saying C.
C. The only reason the C is better, because this guy here, this guy just done the training, watched his Udemy videos, and then went and done the exam brain dumps, and job done, yeah? Right? But this guy actually done the training, done the exams, and then he's also done the experience. He's done an internship. and that makes it more marketable, right? And this is why you guys don't understand why internship is important, right? Not just do the exam and that's it, then start applying for jobs. Once you have done an internship and you've done the experience, then you apply for jobs. Then it gives you a better edge to the market. Yeah. So if you look at the next slide here, you'll see like currently, like I mean, these are the jobs I took off from the internet. Like a machine learning data scientist engineer, they're getting paid $80 to $90 an hour, right? If a security DevOps engineer, Python, Java, they're getting 120,000, 140,000, which is around 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 2 crore rupees, around 2 crores, yeah. And these are all remote jobs. They're remote, right? This is getting paid $35 to $115 an hour. So $100 an hour is what's $100 an hour? I don't know, around 15,000 rupees an hour. Yeah. Okay. So and this one like 160,000. So this is around 3 crores. 100% remote full time. AWS DevOps engineer. You see, this is around $200,000. So that's around nearly around 3.5 crore rupees. Yeah. So this is why you have to understand is why is there demand for this? Because companies are moving to the cloud. They need the expertise, right? But they're struggling to find expertise because there's not enough expertise. Now let me show you another thing. What's the question?
So a couple of questions I'm asking is I've got somebody questions who's coming from a finance and commerce background. How can cloud help them? Or how can they come into cloud if they're coming from a commerce or a financial background?
Well, are they IT related?
Again, it just
yeah. I mean, I've to understand if they're IT related, that's not a problem, right?
They're not.
If they're not IT related, then we would start from cloud practitioner, take them into AWS architecture, take them to programming, coding.
But also later on they'll be able to use those skills once they've understood the cloud to see whether or not they can use it.
Fintech is very heavy into clouds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big mistake.
And also, how will AWS organizations now help because they need to we need to develop and specialize for that. So the question is, because AWS is already running out there in the world, people need to specialize into this. How good will opportunities be in the next 5 years?
Well, essentially, in the next 5 years, there's going to be a big move by coming into AI, machine learning, IoT, robotics. All of this will be run on AWS platforms. So, of course, there's a big demand. That's what you control. So you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to show you. If I go to this is an American website, DICE. Yeah. So if you type AWS, for example. Yeah. So jobs. Yeah. So this will give us like an idea of the time stamp. So you can see here that we got 3,125 jobs here, yeah? And if you look at this remote only, if we click remote only, right? So you can see AWS DevOps engineer, 100% remote, 160K. You know what I'm saying? AWS Python engineers, so AWS DevOps engineer, 150,000, right? So this is what I'm saying, the opportunities are huge. Now, this is America, okay? But let me show you India. So if I go to this is Indian website or Naukri.com. Let's take AWS. So we'll take AWS in India, right? You can see there's 18,837 jobs there. You see there's 1,303 lakh rupees, 5,700 to 3 to 6 lakh rupees, 10,000 jobs, 6 to 10 lakh rupees, 10 से 15 lakh रुपए, 8,616 jobs. And if you look at here, 50 से 70 lakh, 116 jobs, 100 lakh, 25 jobs. So 75 lakhs to 100 lakhs, you know. So you can see that all of these jobs, oops, what am I doing there? Sorry, yeah. You can see that
this is the type of salaries that even in India people are getting, yeah? Now, so the problem for you guys is Pakistan naturally doesn't have that much level of AWS work because Pakistani companies are not that many IT companies in Pakistan. This is why you need to look at the market globally. Don't look at the market from a Pakistani perspective, yeah? Now, if I go to LinkedIn, for example, and I type AWS, right, on LinkedIn, yeah, and I type jobs here, right? So you can see here, now in the past, this is United Kingdom. So let's go worldwide. Yeah, so your market is worldwide. Your market is not just United Kingdom, right? So worldwide. How do you spell worldwide there? Okay. So you can see here, when we're looking at worldwide, you can see that in the past 24 hours, job is going to be nearly 8,900 jobs आई हैं the last 24 hours. पाँच 7 दिन में 55,000 jobs. इस महीने में 1,60,000 jobs आई हैं, ठीक है? This is worldwide, yeah, and these are all over the world. Security, AWS, signification. There's no shortage of jobs. There's a lot of opportunities, yeah. So you have to understand that you need to get those right skill sets. Now look at this, yeah. The color gap problem. If I go to, if I type here, this is a recruitment engine that we use to look for talent across LinkedIn. So if I look at AWS, so you can see that AWS right now we have 2,556,000 candidates in the world who have AWS on LinkedIn, right? Okay, now if you look at, for example, India में कितने हैं, right? Now India में AWS talented बंदे हैं 3 लाख, right? Let's look at United Kingdom. United Kingdom बहुत छोटा मुल्क है, 66 million लोग हैं total United Kingdom में. So if I type United Kingdom में United Kingdom में 120 lakh AWS लोग हैं. Copy of them are Indians. You know what I'm saying? Will be यहाँ साथ ये majority Indians and United Kingdom में. You know what I'm saying? This is not अंग्रेज लोग, yeah, right? Now let's look at Pakistan में कितने हैं, right? पाकिस्तान में देखो सिर्फ 9,400 कैंडिडेट्स, समझे? So this is a problem. I mean, छोटी बात है. Why are people studying AWS and learning AWS? They're looking at the world market and they're saying, okay, this is skills we need. But Pakistan, they're not there because Pakistan is just looking at Pakistan. They're not looking at the world as a market. And you have to change that. You have to look at the world as your market, yeah? So this is very important. And if I show you this is AWS now. When you add more skills to AWS, like you add DevOps, for example, and security, and these are the important skill sets that you need in AWS. पूरी दुनिया में सिर्फ 2 लाख हैं with those skills, right? Okay, and you can again see, the Vector Ramana, right? Sarma, Ranjit, Kesheri, right? It's again just your neighbors, yeah? And सारे UK में काम कर रहे हैं, समझे? Right? Okay. So you have to see what I'm trying to tell you here, yeah? Now let's look at Pakistan में कितने हैं with the skills, yeah? Pakistan में सिर्फ 700. Yeah, I mean, this is where we have a problem, yeah? You see, this is not typical skills. ये 5 महीने में एक बंदा सीख सकता है ये चीज़ें, yeah? Right? क्या ये क्या skills हैं? Java, Terraform, Ansible, Jenkins, yeah? DevOps बन गए. Yeah, security. How long does it take you to teach AWS security? 4-5 weeks? 4 हफ्ते, 5 हफ्ते में you can teach this, yeah? It's not rocket science. So you have to, but look at the demand, look at the job market, look at the demand for the skills, yeah? Try to match it up, yeah? So that's what I'm trying to say, yeah? So when I look at it here, Bloody hell. 16:50. Only got 10 minutes left. Okay. So this is what we do. So we're taking students, from here, taking an architect, we're giving them the networking and security skills, we're giving them the scripting and Kubernetes and JSON and Python scripting stream. We're providing them work experience through project work. We're doing the same. We're providing them internship, right? And once they're in the industry, yes, they need to learn Azure, Google Cloud, advanced cybersecurity, and they can reach that 1 crore, 2 crore rupees salary in 3 to 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Ali Yaz just said they've seen the skills, but what is the roadmap? So the roadmap which you've shown, what's going to help people achieve to be able to get to their destination?
I mean, this is a course we are offering in Pakistan right now, which is the architect course for people who've got a background, which is around 85,000 rupees. But this one here is what we would say is a roadmap, where you're doing the AWS solution architect, you're doing the security specialty, the network specialty, scripting like JSON, Python, Terraform, Kubernetes, then you're doing project work, the preparation, the practice, and then this thing. So this is how it is around 4 lakh rupees, which is the roadmap that we've created.
Someone need a degree to do this?
No, you don't need a degree. This is assuming you don't have a degree.
So what level of qualification does someone need?
Well, your English level should be good because they have to understand you.
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, not understanding me. Even you.
So one of the aspects are you have to have basic knowledge of IT, so at least you have intermediate to first year or something. You can't be just totally novice. Yeah. I mean, computer सवाल करोगा, you know what I'm saying? So you need to have that thing, but you don't have to have a degree.
So do we have an eligibility criteria?
Well, we will look at their eligibility based on the interview we do with them. So we do a preliminary interview, see that they fit the criteria before we take them on.
I mean, if you've got someone who's doing sales.
Yeah, even somebody. Yeah, but I mean, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
We have to do we do it individually, one-to-one interviews before we take them onto this package, because this package we have, it has a guaranteed internship that comes with. And they don't have to do the convenient, they can apply directly if they want into the industry, but this is what we recommend that we do, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got a couple of people who are sales managers. I mean, they're working in Azure Cloud. They want to go into engineering. So what's the best way from our pathway to go to engineering or to get started?
Engineering, what type of engineering?
Computer engineering.
What is computer engineering? Again, that's
cloud engineering.
What is cloud
DevOps.
Hang on, DevOps is not cloud engineering.
In terms of that.
DevOps is not engineering, DevOps is automation.
So,
yeah, so the word engineering is misleading here, right? Because so I would have to again, they would have to speak to us individually to understand what the. So that's up to you. The project work that we give you is how you get the work experience. So these are different types of project work you do. You do your development, your CI/CD pipeline. You do your AWS SDK, IAM and role management. You do your deployment of SaaS, infrastructure as a service. All these projects that we have to give you create that work experience that you require to get into the industry. Then of course you go through the technical question interview prep, the agency questions, HR questions, CV questions. So, before we prepare you, then we get your internship. With the internship, after the internship, then we can take you into the UK market or USA market, wherever we're marketing your skill sets. But we need the experience, the soft skills, how to sell yourself, how to present, how to deliver, your knowledge to your future customers. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole process the way we do it.
One of the questions that if we're talking about processes, if someone's got to start a degree in science, they want to do big data. In order to get to big data, what is the path?
Again, you would have to understand the architecture.
That's
the AWS architecture.
Very true.
So you would do something like this, you do something like this, AWS solution architect, and after that you will do the big data specialty. You know what I mean? That's the way we do it. So there's many ways of doing it. That's where you will start from this one, from the AWS solution architect.
Okay, can this be done as a secondary job or part-time?
Can you what does that?
Outsources.
Of course, it's done over a period of Sunday and 2 weekday evenings or 4 weeks. So I will send the link for our course. So you can go and register for it, and then somebody will contact you. Let me just put the link.
Okay, so I've got someone who's got an IT background as well as with data centers and 5 years, 6 years of experience, but they're not good at programming and scripting. How can our program help them?
Our program is designed to take people who are not good at something and then help them and give them that instructor to get them ready for go. That then through project work is how we develop their skill sets. You know?
So then we will assess your strengths, your weaknesses, look at where you want to go. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? And then inshallah we help you plan that path in order to get there.
So I'll just put the link for our course where they can register. But you will be getting
Exam fees included in our package.
The exam fee is $100 or $250 for the thing is not included in our ordinary package. But we can provide them discounts so that they're doing the course with us. So that is not a problem.
Okay. The other question: I've got a high school graduate who's learning cybersecurity. Can they become a DevOps engineer without a BSc?
Yes, they can.
Not a problem.
Yeah, but again, if you're running cybersecurity, what are you changing fields? If you're running cybersecurity, you want to become DevOps.
Exploring, we'll probably need
you need to have more of a conversation.
Yeah,
because there's another market in cybersecurity, but I need to understand that.
Do we have scholarships?
No, we don't have scholarships currently. What we are planning to do long term is we are trying to bring scholarships. We're trying to work with USAID, UK to see if we can do funding. But this is going to take us at least a year or so to organize. It's not that straightforward trying to get funding.
Okay, so
but this course we're already subsidizing it from one of our sponsors, private sponsors. So we are technically, but not full scholarship.
So is our internship full time? So does
It's full time internship.
will they get money? Will they get paid?
Yes, it's 25,000 rupees.
25,000 rupees, yeah?
A month.
Per month.
It's a very internship.
Because no one wants to leave a job for an internship. Well, of course.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah?
I think if you're very good, you don't even have to go for internship. We might be able to put you straight to the industry. So, but the internship is guaranteed from us. You know.
At the end of the day, you want to have something which you've done, mean something. That's what it's going to be for you.
So I'll show you guys. Let me quickly show you this machine learning thing, the website development. So, like if you look at this website, for example, and you want to create a website, and it does all through machine learning. So if you do like a restaurant website, and give me a name, it doesn't.
Alibaba.
Alibaba. So I'm going to call Alibaba in the chat.
No?
Give me somebody on the chat.
Oh, okay, sorry. Alina Afsal.
I speak
I need to improve. That's why I'm attending these, to improve.
How are you going to improve? You're speaking English with that.
I'm speaking English, but I need to improve my pronunciation.
We will call it Alina Mozzarella Fish.
That's it. Very nice name.
Yeah. So if you look at this, so there's a fresh look. There's a top menu. Let's have some pictures in it. I'm going to watch out some pretty dodgy pictures of alcohol in there. Okay. So now this is a artificial intelligence design assistant, and this is using AWS, and it is now reviewing my answers. So remember, कोई human involvement नहीं है. It's all through machine learning and AI, right? It's working out the thing, and it's happy with my stuff. So now it's saying, okay, sit back, your website will be ready in 30 seconds. So all we have to do now is, so now it's going to make our website. So this artificial design assistant like solid AWS protocol, using AWS services. You know, it's not using any human, no pure machine learning and AI, as in doing the whole website, making it, right? And now, let's see, it's doing all the funky stuff. Remember, 3 seconds के अंदर is the website running here. Now it's just going to go and it should choose the styles. Chosen is happy with that. Now it will save. It's saved. It says, "Oh, my website is ready." So I can go and preview it. So I can click editing. I can preview my website. So मैं देख सकता हूँ मेरे desktop पे कैसे लगेगा. What would it look like on a tablet? What would it look like on a mobile phone? iOS mobile phone, Android mobile phone, Windows mobile phone पे कैसे लगेगा? I'm happy with it. So I can publish my website. So when I publish the internet, look how quick, and I can now paste the link on. I'll copy that and I'll paste the link on the chat, and you guys can all go to the website.
Masala fish.
Masala fish, masala fish. I can also go there. There we go. That's it. 30 seconds. Now, tell me something. This is now. Can you imagine what's going to happen in the next 2 years when this AI and machine learning become much more powerful? So you guys have to understand that how the world is going to change in the next 5 years. If we're going to go down the digital world, we're doing digital transformation and everything. You know, today even the rickshaw driver you have, he's using Kareem app and Uber app. I mean, कौन सोच सकता था 10 साल पहले rickshaw driver भी digital हो जाएगा? Who would have thought a rickshaw driver would be digital?
You would think,
right? You know, every person in Pakistan and the world will be digital. You know, payment, PayPal, Pioneer, all this, the cryptocurrency, these are all digital, right? Uber, you know, Airbnb, Park Wheels, newspapers, you know, सबसे बड़ी advertising agency दुनिया में, who would have thought with Google? सबसे बड़ी news channel, who would have thought with Facebook? Right? So much, our lives have changed so much in the last 15 years. And the next 10 years, our life is going to change much more than this. So this is why it's very important for you guys to understand. Somebody said, Alina Matala Facebook, some IP could not working for Pakistan. I can't, you need a VPN. That's all I can say. Yeah, you know, but couldn't make that thing. Oh boy, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, Muhammad Iman.
You opened it with a VPN.
You opened it with a VPN. So that's another thing you did. Pakistan में काम करना है VPN की जरूरत पड़ी. Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good job, Muhammad. Yeah, you're better for it. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and we'll be sending out, my sales team, my team will be sending out invitations to you to speak to any of our consultants, and hopefully we might see some of you enrolling with us, or if not, we will see you in some other webinars or stuff that we will be running. We'll be running many different webinars anyway. We only been 1 year in Pakistan, so you'll be hearing a lot about us, a lot in some few months. We are heavily trying to market ourselves and trying to educate people, educate companies, so inshallah, you know.
Do we have an office in Saudi Arabia?
Man, do I have an office in Saudi Arabia? Why do we need an office in Saudi Arabia? The world is my office.
Reach us.
I don't need physical world. We're not in the physical world anymore. You know? You see. Okay. So thank you, Zohan. You know.
Thank you very much, Lord.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Thanks a lot. Okay. And we shall see you. Pakistan Zindabad. I didn't say Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad.